Good morning and good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. 2 more days before, or 2 days before Christmas. Yeah, just 2 days. It's the 23rd day of December 2025. Just about 8 minutes after the hour of 8. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. For those of you celebrating today, happy birthday, happy anniversary. Kudos, congratulations on attaining your degree, your promotion, whatever you are celebrating. We here at WinFM wish you the best. Angie, sorry it slipped me yesterday, but happy belated birthday to Angie from Jamrock. She always takes good care of us when we go over there, so I hope she had a splendid birthday yesterday. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, YouTube, as well as we are on your FM dial at 98.9. Just want to say a hearty, once again, good morning to the regional and to the international diaspora. Quint, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am trying to be better than yesterday. I am trying to pull up what we spoke about when you came in. But this shows how the double C's on our passport, as I say all the time, to me, I'm speaking about me, makes no sense. So here goes. Oh boy. Come on.
And they use
Hold on.
And they use this visa not to travel once, but they use it multiple times. Several times some people travel. So why you bad mouthing the people? You want to go in the people country, but you want to bad mouth them. Isn't that hypocrisy from some? And careful you don't end up like Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica, who bad mouth in the US, and guess what happened? All their visas restricted now. They cut their visas. Which Trini wants to cut their visas to behave Trinis. And they use
So behave like a Trini, don't say nothing.
Yeah. Imagine that. That is why.
Oh boy.
That is why we said. That is why we said. Caribbean leaders need to get together as one voice and unite. But here is a Caribbean leader continuing to perpetuate the divide and conquer. Imagine a Caribbean leader saying to another Caribbean leader, "Look, dear, you didn't jump when America said jump, and your visa gone, but we still got we won." A Caribbean leader, you know. And
Don't
then we
badmouth
wonder.
the people them. Do not speak ill of them, or else you won't get a visa.
Well, anyway.
Kamla just on a different level, yes?
Yeah, let me see if I can.
But you know, there's a gentleman from Trinidad, Mr. Aboud. You know, he spoke against what was happening, and you know, his visa was cancelled.
Yeah, I heard you say so.
Yeah.
You know.
So I guess you can't talk.
To tell the world.
Let me play this clip. This is a clip I have. This is the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and listen to him. He sounds completely opposite to the one who is presently in power.
To tell the world that we have entered into an arrangement. To tell Venezuela that we have entered into an arrangement. To tell Guyana and to tell CARICOM that this picture is representative of an action that we've taken with the head of Southcom, Admiral Halsey, and it's about us creating an environment where the United States can place troops in Trinidad and Tobago to respond to instability in Venezuela. Whoever did this is not acting in the interest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And let me tell you why. I am so disturbed about this. This picture has nothing to do with any Venezuelan issue. This has everything to do with the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, which is a very good one. And of course, the conversations that we've had, if you listen, and in fact, the very paper that carries the story, carries the details of what was said by Admiral Halsey about the issues that brought him here and the issues that were discussed and the commitment to cooperate with Trinidad and Tobago on matters, not the least of which is national security. That's what it's about. The local press cannot pretend not to know that our security agencies rely very heavily on the cooperation that they have with the United States. Many instances, the actions that we take here, or actions that are taken in our interest outside our border in the region, has to do with information or physical assets of foreign countries, not the least of which is the United States, helping us to protect ourselves because we don't have the ability to have as many assets out there or to have the intelligence as to who is going to harm us. And you read in the story what Admiral Halsey has said, as far as to talk about criminal elements coming from South America and threatening us now. It's all about the relationship between two friendly countries, one with a lot of resources and one that needs the help. You would recall, not too long ago, there was a situation where the United States government led arguments, OAS and the European Union, about regime change in Venezuela. And it got very heated, and it got to the point where people were expecting physical action. The European Union had given Maduro 8 days to leave office. The Canadians had said to us in CARICOM, time for talk over. And our question was, no, time for what? And of course, the United States had its view on Venezuela. And the details, you carried it in your media, you know all about it. How did Trinidad and Tobago react to that situation? Trinidad and Tobago, as a leader in CARICOM on that matter, took a leadership role to preserve the Caribbean as a zone of peace. And we headed to New York. The Prime Minister of Barbados and myself, we went to the office of the Secretary General of the United Nations to take a different position on the Venezuelan issue. We didn't stop there. We, again, Trinidad and Tobago, and this time the larger CARICOM, we went to Uruguay and took part in generating the Montevideo Accord, which was meant to prevent any instance of the breach of the peace in the Caribbean, supported by Mexico and Norway. All along, Trinidad and Tobago had a leadership role in that matter. And every stage of the game, you all in the media knew what your country's position was, you knew what the dangers were, you knew what we were fighting off, you knew what the successes were and what the failures were. I made my first visit to the UN General Assembly and spoke of Trinidad and Tobago's position on this matter. So the media in Trinidad and Tobago, you know our position. Why then would you convert that firm stand of your country to cause Trinidad and Tobago to be a platform for foreign troops on its territory in response to a Venezuelan situation? To create a situation. What has changed? When in fact, only days ago, the Trinidad and Tobago minister in the office of the Prime Minister was in Caracas, talking to the Venezuelan leadership, as we talk to them all the time, and the Americans and others, because I was in Barbados talking to the American leadership. And CARICOM, as a unit, we cover and protect ourselves by standing on the defense of CARICOM. Caribbean is a zone of peace, and we are not supporting anybody's military excursion. So where did you get it from? That we are in a position to make Trinidad and Tobago available to the United States for troops against Venezuela. What exactly happened in Trinidad and Tobago? It's a serious matter. If a country is making its territory available for another country to stage military action against them, that is a serious matter. And if I don't come here today and denounce this irresponsibility, if you were in Venezuela, what would you think? What would you think? And if you are in Venezuela where Trinidad and Tobago are negotiating with you in all kinds of important matters, but making its territory available for American incursions in the event that it is determined that Venezuela has instability, what would you think? I know that there are people in this country, surprisingly to some of you, who would like our initiatives to bear no fruit and to come to naught, but this is going too far.
Yeah. So what he's saying in a nutshell is, as we all know, as I've said on numerous occasions, we as a Caribbean region, we can't fight against the U.S. So what he's saying, because the U.S. has all this power and so forth, and we know in the Caribbean, the U.S. and other superpowers come and aid our forces in training and that kind of stuff. So he says, we don't have a problem with that. You come, you say you're training us to buttress our defense in case someone invades us. But that has nothing to do with you coming here and setting up a base to attack anybody else. You understand? And he showed you where during his tenure, they went to the full length to make sure this thing with Maduro ain't just start. We know they wanted him to.
There is chatter that Maduro says some of Trinidad belong to him too. So I don't know if all of that is why she's so willy-nilly.
No, well, I never heard that.
Yeah.
That Maduro said.
Maduro
That.
said
You
some of
hear
them,
all
so
kind of
yeah,
rumor.
that's why I said there is chatter.
Yes, but what Maduro was mad about was what the former prime minister spoke about. Remember, I played a clip where it showed you that the oil in Venezuela was supposed to be pushed by pipeline into Trinidad and Tobago and then refined there and sold.
Yeah, I think he since cut that.
Yeah,
tie with
he has
them.
cut that
He ain't dealing
because
with them no more.
that is what the leader is saying. You expect that is going to continue when you're setting up base here too. I mean, here you're coming over here, you're talking to us about linking on a business deal, but still you're setting up shop, and all of these I spoke to. You understand? So this lady has shown herself to be a puppet for the United States. I mean, how do you feel knowing that your leader so blatantly saying to you, I thought this was a democracy. I thought this was Hortensia wants to go to the U.S. to do some shopping or get a visa or so forth. It's a democracy. She has a choice to do so. I didn't know there was strings that if she wanted to go to the U.S., whatever the U.S. wanted to do in her country, she had to acquiesce. I didn't know that. Anyway, you have anything else to say, Hortensia?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. We see it for what it is. And as I say all the time, the double C's in our passport, what's the sense? Because prior to them opening the gateway with the OECS, which really isn't a part, well, we are part of CARICOM still, but prior to that, with CARICOM, you had to have a skill certificate. If you have a skill certificate, it makes no sense you have a passport with a double C on it. So
And even if you have a visa, he's kicking out people who not only have visas but have been naturalized and all that kind of stuff. He's rounding them out and kicking them out.
so it doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah, it seems as if though he even wants to find a way to kick out some of the citizens in America if they are not of the Caucasian color. You understand?
And and I think you mentioned yesterday him having a row again with Denmark concerning wanting Greenland. He says the U.S. have to have
Look,
Greenland.
this is why I say the world has got to be careful, because if the man gets through with one,
He's going to try for all.
he's going to try for all. The man says what he's going to do. So let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Bigger wins, better deals, Christmas joy is here. At Ram Supermarket, we are also full of festive cheer this year. Better prices, bigger wins, 6 straws full of cheer. The good food people love to give, that's why we share our cheer.
It's so easy to win. Just shop at any Ram Supermarket location, spend $200 or more weekly, drop your receipt in the entry box, and you can win $500 every week in in December. So save big, win bigger, and celebrate this season with Rams. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people.
This is it. The last day, last chance to save big at Horsford's Building and Nevis Centers and Builders Paradise. For one day only. Wednesday, December 31st. Enjoy a massive 30% off all discountable in-store items at Horsford's Building and Nevis Centers. And 25% off all discountable items at Builders Paradise as we clear the shelves and prepare for 2026. Celebrate accomplishments, celebrate savings, and celebrate new beginnings with the final sale of the year. Last day, last chance, last call to save big. Build with us. Build at Horsford's Building and Nevis Centers and enjoy everyday low prices at Builders Paradise. Only on December 31st.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA Christmas specials.
Running December 11th to December 24th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Shredded and Chunk Cheeses, just $7.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Frozen Waffles, just $9.99. Lender's Bagels, $12.99. Western Oils are $19.99 each. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs, $7.49. Arm & Hammer deodorant, $8.99. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Quaker Oats, regular and quick, $15.99. Mueller's Dry Pasta, $5.99. Essential Everyday Chunk Light Tuna, $3.49. Essential Everyday Salt Plain and Iodized, $4.29. Progress Oat Soup, $13.99. Picoga Toothpaste, $6.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
The wait is over. Registration is now open for the COSCAP Junior Carnival Parade 2025. This year, we celebrate under the theme National Treasures, highlighting our unspoiled historical sites and cultural art forms. The Masquerade, Clowns, Brimstone Hill, Berkeley Memorial, Independence Square, and from Nevis, Hot Spring, Bath Hotel, and the Botanical Gardens. It all comes alive on Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Sign up now. It's free. Register online at www.skncarnival.com or in person at the Department of Youth, 3rd floor of the Cable Building, Keon Street, Bastyr. But hurry, while the stocks last, join the celebration, honor our national treasures, and watch the future of Carnival shine. It's sweet to the core. Sugar Mass 54.
And we're back on Island Sea, and I have another one here for us. And this one is Spa Hotels Caribbean government to brace for January to April 2026. And this is from a vlogger in St. Vincent, Ernesto B. Cook. And let's just take a little listen to what he has to say.
Islands have been urged and been told, the Caribbean governments have been told to brace for January to at least April 2026. We may have a double whammy in the region. We have the issue of Venezuela and the US, where CARICOM is being ripped apart. I've already talked about that. I have no doubt that CARICOM will not survive. As long as they can get a good portion of CARICOM to go along with them, talking about the US, this issue with Venezuela, that will be it. I am not changing my mind on that subject. Cannot see CARICOM holding after this. That's what I have to say about that. But anyway, PAHO, who is the Pan-American Health Organization, is urging countries across the Caribbean and have urged the governments of the Caribbean to sharpen their health service preparedness, as we are expected to have a surge in influenza and other respiratory viruses. So on top of the war, we are looking at the new pandemic. Remember I spoke about that thing that's happening in Europe and the UK and the US, and I plan to give you more information about that today. It's coming to a country near you. And remember, we do have travelers coming to the region at this time because it's the peak of the winter and it's going to get worse. And so they're saying in a new epidemiological alert, when they update about what's happening, PAHO said a mixture of vaccination, stronger surveillance, hospital readiness, rapid diagnosis, and personal preventative measures will be critical to reducing infections and preventing potential strain on the already stretched health systems in the Caribbean. Do you understand what PAHO is saying? The first thing was not to enact remedies which can help you to stave off these respiratory viruses. The first thing that they said to you, vaccination. Remember last week I gave you videos pertaining to remedies that you can use, natural herbal remedies, because these are respiratory viruses. And I'll have to go over that again and update it. But that's the first thing they're pointing to you, telling you to get your arm ready to take more of the jabs. PAHO says that Caribbean health ministers, many of them were attended meetings, they listened, but they're saying that their countries already face limited hospital capacity. And because of the influx of the tourism surges this season, they have been encouraged to act very early. When these people come from Europe, they're bringing their viruses with them. But what does PAHO want you to do in your country? What is it urging governments to do? One of the things they're urging governments to do is to strengthen the surveillance for influenza, the RSV, the SARS-CoV-2, and they're saying that you should ensure that you have consistent data sharing now, because that was a problem they said in the last time. They're urging the government to submit samples for sequencing to detect variants that may affect transmission or severity. So again, we're hearing the word variants and transmission, just like the last time.
I hope that's not the case.
I hope so too.
Because I don't want, as he said, next pandemic.
I don't
my
think,
God.
look, keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. I don't think that is going to be the case. But what usually happens is because of the effects and the memory of the impact that COVID made on us, anything now people is going to be ready to panic and say the worst. So let's not just jump there. You understand? Because it's just like for years you don't get a hurricane, people get complacent. They say, oh, we blessed. Oh, we're not getting a hurricane. Then we get a hurricane. Watch what happens the year after that. Everybody's paranoid. Everybody says, boy, you know, yeah. And until you don't get a hurricane again in a while, and people go right back into that complacency. So I'm not saying going to any complacency state, but I'm saying be alert. As he says, take whatever precautions, take good care of your health, exercise, whatever, and keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. I don't think we're going to see another COVID in a hurry, because we know what that did to the world.
Another big shutdown because COVID is around.
Another. Hello,
caller?
caller. Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good day.
Good
You
morning.
seem to be in a very jolly mood today.
Well, I am always hopeful, you know. Say, my God is alive and active. So, as I keep saying, start praying now. We have all the bush tea and whatever, but we're not seeking help. Because the flu going around here too, you know.
Yeah, it started already.
People with babies, I have 3 young great-grand. You take care. Because some of us are anti-COVID that we wouldn't even use a mask. You got a young child, put on a mask when you go, especially if you're coughing or whatever. Some things can be simple, you know. You know that?
Yep.
If you got the winter flu, well, I don't think we're going to have so many people this year as in the previous years. Some of them afraid to come. As Quinn said, he putting out widely and all. So we could, look, take caution. Don't just say, oh, well, it's a plan. Then, well, maybe you're part of the plan and you didn't even realize it. The pandemic.
Yeah.
Do what you can.
Yeah.
I took the booster shot and all.
Me taking no more shots, though, Miss Henry, I can't guarantee you that.
I know, but the other things you could do is put on a mask.
Yep. Of course, I'm going to use wisdom. I'm not going to be a fool.
And if you know certain people have the flu, tell them nicely, and my immune system is not as strong as yours. Yeah, could you please either put on a mask or you can't come back until things start to clear up? Because we're going all into January, we're all over here cold.
Yeah.
So we can't play ignorant, with the pandemic story.
Yeah.
Because
I like that word, pandemic.
Yeah.
Everybody used that since COVID.
They're like, we have a pandemic. Well, watch me. You better get a plan to deal with the pandemic.
Perfect.
Make no sense just saying, the pandemic can come from China. But it reached here. China had this year,
But the fact that he
China
mentioned...
China had more shutdown than anybody else.
That he mentioned that ministers of health know this. Has anybody come to the fore to tell us anything? We hear every time China has something, we hear them telling the people what to do. It's reported all over the world. So
you see this disaster in Jamaica? You know a lot of it could have been prevented. You know that?
No. Can't say no.
Then you it was coming. Some of them here evacuated me. Ain't going away. So you can't find them.
Yeah. Because
they said, check your house, check your roof. Oh, they're just trying to frighten people. You understand? It's the same we did with our soul.
Because again, Miss Henry, they hadn't been hit for a while, they were complacent, as we tend to do.
Remember they had the thing in St. Elizabeth,
Yeah, but still they ain't take that serious because they ain't really do much.
So that is how we live.
Yeah.
You're prepared to
As Quinn just said,
they're just trying to frighten people. They're trying to control people. Take warning. Take warning.
But
all of us take warning.
Yeah.
And for our leaders, we leave them out. So go the leaders, so go the country,
Yeah, but they need to come and tell us if anything, because I remember when we had the first pandemic, I heard a former minister say, whose name I'm not going to call, but I heard he had said he knew about it since the October. So if you knew about it since the October, why you didn't come and tell the people this is what was going to happen? So I hope what Mr. Cook is saying, that the ministers will speak up and let people know this is what might happen, so protect yourself. And as we say, a word to the wise is enough. So we're telling you today.
They could start to test at the airport. They come with a lot of coughing and whatever, coughing and spitting. Maybe they should start to prepare brochures,
Yeah. That's a good idea. Don't wait until it's
at the airport.
Start checking.
They're going to come in, jump in the van, cough up the van.
Cough up the van?
Yeah, you know was right.
Yeah, I know.
But
they had Glow Parade last night.
I tell you, they're ready. They're calling it as part of the pandemic, If you know your own personal body thing, that your immune system is low, keep out the band or put on your mask.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed to put on a mask.
But nobody ashamed now, I'm actually proud
you
to say...
You think so? But some of them are determined they're not going to do anything.
Okay, well...
Go get the bush.
You hear, we just say, Miss Henry, a word to the wise is enough. So if you want to play cutesy and don't want to wear your mask... But I find a lot of people...
But you see, remember what happened to one affect more than one, just you know.
Yeah, I know.
What happened to you affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if you know about... Quinn, you know about the bush. Quinn.
Yeah, I've been using bush all my life.
What's the name of the bush?
That's what we're talking about. So we could get bush now.
Different
look the bush and dry them.
Yeah, different kind of bush. I've said on numerous occasions, I'm 66 years. I don't have any joint pains. I don't have coughs and headaches. And sometimes I hear my children complaining about things, and I say, well, boy.
But couldn't you hear me too with migraine? Yeah. Look, I had one Friday. You tell me the bush? What going on?
You not sharing
look, I use different kind of bushes, and the way
every bush have a name.
Yeah.
But y'all ain't giving me the names. Y'all want me to suffer with these migraines forever?
I don't know if the bush can cure the migraines.
You would not try them, so tell the woman to bring some for her.
See, hey, sharing the secret in
When
the
I was growing up, right, my father used to go mountain.
I'm gonna try and get some for the New Year because she won't be in
New
tomorrow.
Year, man, the thing going
She
be
won't,
raging.
she won't
no.
be in tomorrow. And you know what?
And
if you can pass tomorrow, I'm gonna bring some bush for you.
I can't pass tomorrow. I remember I got early.
Whenever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
We don't
what
know.
about
She didn't
Monday?
pick up them
We
off.
got Monday. We back, right?
Okay.
Monday could work. Monday could work.
Okay.
Yeah, but does he know where you live?
No, she's gonna pick them up
who is
here.
that? You coughing?
Yeah.
That's me. No, that's just a normal cough. No, nothing wrong with me, please, Miss Henry. I just had a little
Miss
dust
Henry,
in my throat.
Miss Henry, she's gonna pick up the bush here.
Yeah, Miss Henry, and get the bush from Quinty. You can bring them for me Monday.
And tell us quick because some of the bush in our yard, you know. I have salsa bush, cinnamon bush, lemongrass.
Yeah,
all the kind
lemongrass
of
is the
bush.
thing. I remember when we got fever as children in Guyana and we had heavy cold.
You mean the
Parents used to give us lemongrass tea.
Fever grass, right?
Yeah, fever grass, yeah. Lemongrass is fever grass, yeah.
Yeah. So make you know what does amuse me? We buy them in tea bags.
Yeah, boy. And tea bags ain't
You know,
tea bags ain't as strong.
turmeric and ginger is good.
Yeah.
I used to take it a lot, right? I never had no ache and no pain. Then somebody said, Miss Henry, you're losing weight. You can't use turmeric too much because it can run you down.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen stuff.
All of them and stop. Now I must lose 100 pounds. My knee was hurting me. I never had those kind of things, you know. I said back to basic.
Yeah. So you followed them and you stopped.
Yeah, because I started losing weight.
But wasn't it because of your NCD though? Miss Henry?
I don't know because my pressure is good, my sugar is good. So the doctor said. But I think what happened, I don't get much exercise.
Okay.
I am here all day by myself. We are going to work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you.
And I was blind also.
Visually
So yesterday morning,
impaired.
I got a fall, I said, Satan just take care of me. I was trying to do some exercise in front of my recliner. I had my hand on one at the end to make sure that I was by the recliner. So when I finished, I was stepping back to go and sit down. Not realizing while one foot was touching the edge of the recliner, the other one was further out. So I take me, go the whole self, and the devil does make it push me. I was on the floor.
Oh boy, sorry to hear.
It's a good
In front
thing.
of the recliner. And I called in my neighbors, everybody got work.
Oh boy.
The Lord, he said, I just pulled myself back further, closer to the recliner, and I put my shoulder on the seat. And I began to pull myself, I said, well, God, you're good. I was able to go back in the recliner.
Well, good
So
thing you're
being blind and some of the passages are narrow, I don't move around too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of you elderly, take care of yourself.
Yeah, boy.
If they come to your house carping, please tell them either put on a mask or come back the next day. I don't tell them, son, you come back, I say, wait. If you have the cold, you cannot come in.
Yeah, come on next day.
It sounds hard.
Yeah, but
We got to do what we got to do to save
Yeah,
ourselves.
to
you
protect
have
yourself.
to. Yeah.
And if you got to take the vaccine, take it. It ain't kill me. A lot of people, it ain't kill them. All you have to prepare to meet your God. Good morning, Journey. Good morning, good morning.
Yeah.
I want some bush, parsley and all them stored here. So when you bring them, by the way, when you bring in for attention, tell them if you want them.
I've only got 2 that I could get my hands on. Well, I've got 3.
I've
got soursop, I've got French tiki time, and
I
I've
have
got
soursop.
another one.
I have soursop, so I'm good for
Okay.
soursop.
Yeah.
How come you don't have French ticket time?
Who,
I
me?
said-
First time I see people cook was in Guyana. When I went to
Yeah,
Guyana,
I have
Miss
French
Henry
tiki.
make on a yard space, and most of my yard is concrete.
madam, they say flower pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Don't
any
try to
excuse.
run from Miss
But
Henry.
the French tiki overgrows though, Quint. As
Man,
you read,
watch.
Miss
Make an
Henry,
excuse.
I ain't
People live
making
in all of them
excuse.
kind of
A flower
skyscraper.
pot, a flower pot can't hold it after a while, you know. Remember, as you rightfully say, I've come from Ghana. I know
Well,
how they grow.
if you keep using it, it doesn't go up so much.
Says who? I have good hands, you know. Mine will just overgrow.
Yeah.
And you could plant lemongrass outside your fence.
Yeah. I don't have
Outside there, they
lemongrass
took the liberty of putting concrete, Miss Henry.
But the only thing you got to be careful, dog blood took a cup of front of the lemongrass and water. I water it. Yeah,
Miss Henry.
Please pray for our country.
Will do.
God, the Lord is our helper.
Amen.
Oh, by the way, for elderly and people at home, maybe you're blind. Something I do, you know, when I get up and I can't go back to sleep, I turn on my TV, tell Alexa to open YouTube and play. Whether I want a scripture, prayer, anything, any topic.
Okay.
I have been able to hear a lot about John, Matthew, Mark. I did Luke this morning.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to recommend Luke to people. You know, God is a murderer, God is a killer, whatever. Well, the amount of people get healed, delivered, you understand? It's how our perspective.
Yeah.
If you were in that situation, you will call on God.
Amen.
You never know you need him until you're in a jam.
That's
And you can't ignore him and deny him. And then can just jump up. So anyway, that's an idea. Any topic, you know, you could do your research. When they talk about things, that's why usually when Journey and the Africans them talk certain things, I go to you and look for it on my phone.
Yeah.
What is some of those African things?
Yeah.
That's how I learn. So I am encouraging you, if you can't read the Bible because you're blind, their Bible readers are looking for a battery for a 7-volt battery. There are ways of doing it. You know?
Yeah.
So don't just sit down there and get blind mentally. Keep yourself abreast.
Amen.
Listen to the word of God. It is encouraging. It's encouraging. You never know somebody who ain't blind, maimed, lame, dead. Everything is a God of compassion. We don't talk about that. A God of compassion. That's the kind of God we have. So I want to encourage you to be encouraged. Christmas, you know what Christmas means. You don't have to go argue over whether he born December 25th or he born March. Born.
Yep.
Yeah, he born.
Yep.
For years we got a holiday on the Queen birthday. The second Saturday in June. You remember that? Queen was old enough. It was a public holiday, you know? Queen born in April. Do you know that?
Oh, you
Look,
mean the Jubilee thing?
I never gave credence to the Queen and the
You
King.
no matter credence was a holiday, it was a holiday.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
it was
never
a
gave
holiday.
it credence.
It's not
Public. It was a public holiday
Okay.
in June. The second Saturday in June
Okay.
was celebrated as the Queen birthday. And so here we are, arguing over Jesus was born May, October, November, December. There are proof, historical facts to show that he existed. So we can't let the devil twist up the mind.
Yep.
You born in any month, you could say, well, I'm working, you know, maybe you're working in a hotel and they're going to celebrate my birthday during the slow months. That don't mean you ain't born. So be encouraged. Share what you have. What you have is share. Anybody give you a thing, take it. You know, some people poor and proud. You're not poor proud. You're not poor proud.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, poor proud, you have a need and somebody giving. Oh, well, I want nobody old clothes. You better get old clothes. The Queen wear her grandmother things. People don't know that, you know. In the palace, full of the ancestors, as they say, clothes, the jewelry that the Queen have, they're not new. You understand? It save you money. You just wash them clean and put in a little disinfectant if you want to. This lot of pride we have and we suffer. We put our children to suffer. And when it comes to the children, please to teach them contention, to be content. Don't let nobody go take up the $1,000 phone. Give them.
You mean teach them contentment?
Contentment.
Okay, because you say contention. I don't want no feisty children.
No.
Okay.
Thank you for your correction.
All right.
I'm serious.
You're welcome.
And some of your mates, some of the women put all kind of pressure on men to go and steal.
I'm glad you're the one who's saying that, not me.
But I didn't do it to my husband because I've been a Christian since I 13. And I was economically independent in a lot of my years, you understand?
Yeah.
But I never should do that foolishness. I said, look, you know Anthony Abrix?
Yeah.
My good friend, and Rams, one of them. They selling all kind of expensive things. Have on to pay a pair of draggers, Tony Siri, a kneeling pants. And I don't understand why maybe our lack forces us into this ridiculous situation. The people who selling these things, them own them. They don't wear them.
You are correct. You are correct. Because I look at the average person with money, how they dress. They don't overdo like we overdo the house.
Dragging a pair of shoes, dragging, you know. Oh, I cannot go into town. But we need to wise up. We blame everybody but ourselves. Oh, my child wants a bicycle. Your child wants what you give him, what you could afford.
Exactly.
Yeah. His friend get iPad in it. Samsung phone look good.
Miss Henry, we have another caller, so.
Oh yes. So I hope people heard me.
Yes.
Above all, pray for our leaders. So God the leaders, so God the country. And may God defend us. All right then.
All right.
Okay, you take care. Hello,
Have
caller.
a good one.
Yeah, good morning, Quint. Good morning, Cutman here.
Good morning.
To the listeners home and abroad. How you guys doing today?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, Quint, man, what's up, man?
I'm cool.
Yeah, man, keep drinking them bush, man. Soursop and lemongrass, two top bush tea that I know. I remember I brought my son to the Federation one time, back some years ago. He started eating there, and the food wasn't getting digested. So he started complaining for his chest. 1 o'clock in the morning, we went out in the bush, got some soursop, came back, soursop bush, came back, boiled that, drank it. When he drank that bush tea, that soursop bush tea, he didn't even have a chance to go to the bathroom to vomit. The poor kid vomited on the living room floor.
Oh boy.
Brought up everything.
All that food that was brought out everything. All that food that was sitting in his chest, undigested, came right up, man. Within minutes after he drank that bush tea, that soursop bush tea. The powers of the bush tea, man.
Yeah, and you
got
know,
it right there.
and you know, soursop has been, the fruit itself is a very expensive thing because of its cancer, fighting properties and that kind of stuff. So, but there's so many other bush, as Sylvian was saying, because there's I use Hasrub down.
Excuse me.
I use Hasrub down. A lot of people haven't seen that in a long time. You know, there are so many different bushes.
Let me see if I see.
Yeah, sage bush was very popular
the jumbie bead, the jumbie bead bush again. You know, jumbie
What we
bead.
call bird eye, the red and black.
Red and black. How do you mean? That's a great bush for making bush tea.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You see, I grew up with my great aunt. Sage is another kind. Yeah, that's sage again is another
That's
good
the one
smelling
with the
bush.
yellow flower.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know that from Guyana. Yeah, I saw somebody had some the other day on my lane, but then I saw the tree totally destroyed, so I can't.
Hello,
get
caller.
pieces
There's
anymore.
another caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah, that sage bush was very popular, man.
Yeah. Hello, caller.
Yes, Quinn. Yes.
So
good morning to everybody. Greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name.
Greg, hold on. Let Burl finish his point, and then you can continue. Burl, you can finish up so we can entertain Greg.
Like me, I got a lot to say, man. You know what I mean? All the time. The political system in St. Nevis needs to be shaken up. The system needs to be broken. And what I'm about to say, a lot of people may not want to hear this. If I was the Prime Minister, Quinn, the first thing I would have did, I would have stopped and repealed that bill. I would have stopped that. I would have stopped that SSD. Remember now, we going into the election. He should not want the people go against him in this manner. If I was him, I'd repeal that bill and bring those people back on my side. Number two, I would have asked him, I would have shake up my cabinet going into this 26th new year. Definitely, I would have asked the AG to step down. I would have asked Douglas to step down. And over there in that Douglas district, I would have tried to bring new leadership in that area to keep my party strengthened and going. I would have probably asked Douglas to step down respectfully and pull a by-election in that district. The young lady, Iselene Phillip, I don't know where in St. Kitts she's from, which district. I know she's a senator. I don't know which district she's from. I would have tried to plug her into that Douglas area and keep that seat going for Labour. Okay, internationally, what's going on in the United States in terms of the Trump policies? Those policies are not the policies of everybody in the United States. I would have to strengthen my foreign affairs ministry. That's why I'm moving Douglas, and I'm getting somebody young, fresh, and vibrant. Because going into the new year, we're going to have to deal with the United States with those immigration policies. I would strengthen up that foreign policy department, like I said. I would have bring on 2 ambassadors. I would have bring them 2 ambassadors down from Nevis. And the AG position, I would have select somebody from Nevis for that. We will be strengthening the ties between, he will be strengthening the ties between St. Kitts and Nevis that way, and strengthening his party prospect for the next election. That's what I got to say. And I'll leave it there, and I wish everybody in St. Kitts and Nevis the best of luck going forward for the new year.
Same to you.
Thank you, Burl. Same to you. Greg, go ahead.
Yes, as I was saying, greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, and he who is the second person of the eternal Trinity, according to the word of God only. Now, first of all, I would like to say that video that Quinn played, Cartenter, you remember I sent you 2 videos?
I don't think I got to watch any of them.
But, yeah, by your WhatsApp, but you said, oh, there might be AI. But those 2 videos are from the same gentleman who Quinn played. Who Quinn played this morning. They're from the same gentleman.
No, Quinn played. Who gentleman Quinn played?
Well, at least it's all like him.
I played the former.
Quinn played the former Prime Minister. I played the guy from St. Vincent, Cook.
Yeah. Right. Okay, good. A guy mixed up now. The guy from St. Vincent, but it was him.
Okay.
I sent you the 2 video concerning.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah. So Greg. So I didn't play Cook.
Right. Well, okay. I tuned in late, so forgive me for that.
Yeah.
Forgive me for that, because I tuned in when that video was already in progress. That Cartenter said.
Yeah.
She played.
Yeah. Okay.
That was me.
So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So Cartenter said that those 2 videos that I sent you was from the same guy. Honest B.
Cook. Yeah.
Yeah.
The same person.
And he named end with K-E, because
Yeah.
Yes. And interestingly, the reason why I tuned in late is because I was listening to a video by him, another one by him, and the video is called Caribbean Under Full Control of U.S. It was posted 20 hours ago. Well, at least that is what this is saying, 20 hours ago. And so that is why I tuned in late. And he made some very interesting comments. in that video. Caribbean under full control of U.S. Now, let me also say that the COVID thing, studies over and over again throughout the years, and there have been books written on it and that sort of stuff, that studies have said that when it comes to respiratory diseases, illnesses, and that sort of stuff, masks are virtually useless because the particles and so are so small that they can easily flow through the mask and also flow through the gaps in the mask and so on your face and that sort of stuff. And the COVID one especially, I don't know about the other respiratory illnesses, but the COVID one especially is not spread really by droplets, it's spread by aerosol. As an aerosol particle, that's how we spread. And not only that, there are 3 ways they say the COVID gets into your body: via your mouth, via your nose, and via your eyes. Those 3 are the gateholes, are the gateway for COVID for entering the human body. And mask is basically ineffective. But it gives you a false security. At least that, it gives you a false security. And as I've mentioned just a few days ago, studies concerning laboratories in Germany said that they found that the PCR test, which they said was 90%, the PCR test which people were boasting, including our doctors and health officials down here were boasting during the time of COVID, is the gold standard for testing to find out COVID. Whereas the gentleman the scientist who invented the COVID, the PCR test, who died 4 months before COVID came and seen, and people are suspicious of that. He said his own is very ineffective and very inaccurate when it comes to finding out and identifying sicknesses and diseases. He says the PCR test that he invented is basically useless for that. And just recently in Germany, which I've said just a few days ago on your program, they studied laboratory tests and that sort of stuff, and they found that from 86 to 90% of the PCR COVID tests were inaccurate. Therefore, that means there was really no COVID pandemic. And the overwhelming vast majority of people who got positives for COVID from the PCR test, which they said was the gold standard, were false positive, were inaccurate false positive. There was no pandemic.
Greg, if I don't speak on things I don't know, so I won't delve too much on this because I'm not from the health perspective. I don't know much, but there was something because we knew of the amount of people who died across the world in mass numbers. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist. I can't pinpoint my finger specifically, but there was something. There was some sort of a pandemic because we know of the numbers of people who died.
That was also brought up some time ago, and it is said, well, I've heard, especially it was done in New York, especially that when you added up the death rate, it was no higher than before the COVID.
That is not true.
No,
that is not true.
That is what I've heard. It's just that
it's not. Greg, look, I don't like when people come and just try to throw things out and say that is what I heard and that. What about what we know?
I've heard it from doctors. I've heard it from doctors and people who knew this stats that when they added up,
there are always people who, on whatever side, for whatever reason, contradict things for I don't know. But I'm speaking about what we know. The amount of people we knew who just began just dying in mass numbers and so forth, there was some kind of pandemic. You know what the word pandemic means, okay? So there was a pandemic. I can't say it was a COVID pandemic or whatever because I'm not scientifically inclined that way, but there was some kind of a pandemic. Hold a while. There's another caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, Quint, I wanted to come back in and just add one more point to what I said earlier. I would also look at the agriculture department. I ask the agriculture minister to step down, but I would try to either reshuffle him or give him the necessary, help that he may need to strengthen up that agriculture department. And this is all in light of giving the prime minister his best shot at getting reelected. And lastly, if I was him as well, I would move to get that second term. And definitely, all of this I would try to handle this internally and run this through my own, executive, department internally and get it done now sooner than later.
But let me be
And after that second term, me and myself as the prime minister, I would step down.
Let me be clear on what you said before, what you said prior. You said prior, if I'm not mistaken, that one of the first things he should do is to repeal that SSZ thing, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
When you were saying that the federal government should wash their hands of
Yes,
it?
yes.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
I just wanted to be clear on that because
Yes.
I asked that question because you're now saying the advice you're giving is for him to, if possible, get a second term. So I wanted it to be clear that even as he moved into that second term, we would not have and should not have that SSZ thing hanging over our head from your perspective.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the biggest point that I got, and he will gain a lot of points back with that, just on that, because if he does that, then he's going to relax the minds of the people.
Yeah.
The people, yes. And I'm agreeing with you because I know exactly that you've been saying that as well. So that's why I'm coming now to put it out there officially to him.
Yes.
And I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. And I hope I made that clarification clear.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. A lot of people out there might not want to hear what I'm saying this morning, but guess what? We can't just be complaining all the time. We could make contributions and positive suggestions as well. And this is my contribution coming to the end of the year right now.
Yeah.
And I wish the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis the best going forward.
Same
Thanks.
to you and your family. Yes.
Thank you, bro.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, Quint. The reason why it seemed like something was out there, okay, is because the PCR test, which was so inaccurate, that what a lot of different sicknesses, what they kill people, they were all now lumped under COVID, okay? So it appeared that COVID was this mass thing that was killing a lot of people. But in truth and in fact, the PCR test was so highly inaccurate that a lot of deaths that they said were because of COVID, were really because of different sicknesses, including the flu.
But Greg,
that somehow went in hiding.
I just did a research on Google Chrome, and the AI overview said studies showed the highest evidence of false positive, 22.6%. So it wasn't high. It's high,
well, like
but
I
it's
said,
not 50% or higher.
Yeah, well, like I said, this study that just came out of Germany that was reported by Dr. John Campbell, and he was quoting the source, the name of the study and all that sort of show that it was between somewhere from 86 to 90%. Not only that, but the inventor, he own self of the own PCR test, tell you it's highly inaccurate. No, concerning the vaccines as well, it is shown that since the introduction, death rate has increased. Okay? The death rate has increased. Now, and two other issues, really. And I'd like to say very quickly. Number one, I would just like to remind the females of this federation, when you go out, be more careful because people are drugging females here and sexing them off. And the police has, again...
That's a good bit of advice there. Glad that you brought back that topic again. Good bit of advice there. Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, if you even on your website, the first item that I saw on the website is some notice from the police concerning this matter on Win FM website. So, ladies, be most careful. And if you all could drop more extra tips to put the women more on the guard and how to do that, that would, I'm sure the women them would appreciate whatever advice that they can get.
Here's a tip that I'm going to drop, and a lot of people might not like it. But one of the things that we as a people, when I was growing up as a very young boy, long before we reach anywhere near all of the different modern things that we have, one of the things that our parents and grandparents and neighbors taught us was not to just go out and eat and drink anything from strangers. And it seems as if, though, in this modern era, that has gone out the window. People can just meet you and you give them something, or they will even ask you for something. You see you have something and they say, where you get that? Can I have a piece? And this and that. And be very careful and about who you eat from and who you drink from.
Yes. And also I believe as well that, yes, women might be more cautious when it comes to men and their drinks and that sort of. And then by being so cautious about men, they overlook that, hey, other females could be working in conjunction with men, and they might be the ones who might also throw things in your drink as well.
That's a good bit of advice.
Be cautious about both male and female when it comes to your drink, because women would also work in conjunction with men to do these things as well.
That again is another good bit of advice, because a lot of women, especially a lot of young women, are part of the game of indoctrinating or bringing other young women into prostitution in various levels.
Yes.
Recently, we saw this article where this particular person who we did not know much about, but she got to be very, very infamous because she exposed another artist who we all knew, who was very popular in the entertainment business, and she said that she had made the provisions for that artist to go to Dubai and meet individuals and have sex and so forth. And it was a bit of a bartering trade, because when you go to Dubai and you have sex with certain people, you can the financial rewards can be very, very big. But how she and that girl fell out is because she introduced the girl to the person, the girl got with the person, the relationship seemed to be going somewhere, and there was a certain amount of money that she was supposed to get out of the deal from the guy, and the guy refused to pay her, and she blew everything up. She exposed everything, the emails and all that kind of stuff, and showed that she had been. So yes, that is good advice. Women, not only men, but women are also in these schemes.
Yes, and let me say, with all due respect, a lot of people who mess us up are people who we consider to be our best of friends.
Yes.
Others, even family members who would mess you up for money.
Yeah.
So don't put nothing on the table. Always be cautious. Be it men, women, friends, family. Always be cautious, because people will sell you out for nothing. And lastly, I would like to say, where Christmas is concerned, like I say, I wish everybody all the best for the Christmas season, and I'd like to tell everybody, without Christmas, there would be no Easter. That is where Christ died on the cross to save sinners. There will be no Easter. But when Jesus was born, in Matthew, I think it's chapter 1, tells us that the angel told Joseph to name him Jesus, name the baby Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. Not that he might save them from their sins, not that he's going to give them an opportunity to be saved from their sins, not that he's going to make them savable from their sins, give them a chance to be saved from the sins. The Bible did not say that. The Bible says, name him Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. And that shows you that all who Jesus Christ died for, he did, as the angel says, save them. Not offer them a chance, but did save them from their sins. And that is why, again, one of the many reasons from the Bible teaching that Jesus Christ only died for his elect, his chosen ones, and not for everybody without exception. to say that he died for everybody without exception would be pitting scriptures against scriptures. Jesus saved, not gave a chance to save, but saved all of who he died for, all of his chosen ones from eternity that God the Father chose to be saved. Only those Jesus Christ died for. Anyhow, God bless you all. Take care. God bless.
Thank
Amen.
you. Same to you.
Yeah, same to you. Yeah, well, is there anything you want to say?
Nah, no. Because I read up on some of the stuff and that Greg was talking about, because I'm always researching, and there's a part that says claims that Molly showed the PCR test is highly inaccurate for COVID-19 are false and stem from the misattribution and decontextualization of his past comments on an entirely different subject. So he never said that. As Greg correctly said, he died before the pandemic. He died in August 2019, several months before the COVID pandemic, meaning he made no statements about the use or accuracy of the RT-PCR
That is why I don't.
SARS-CoV-2, the virus that caused COVID-19.
That is why I don't go there, because like I said, I do not speak on things
that you're
on
not
which I
afraid
am not
about.
informed. Yeah. Go ahead, caller.
Grand Rising Quint, Grand Rising Catencia, Grand Rising to Mrs. Henry. Now, Quint, permit me to go there, because you see, we are measuring words, Quint and Catencia. Let us measure words. According to Greg, what he just said, that, well, I'm not going to repeat what Greg just said.
Hold a second there. There's another caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead, because you're usually to the point. So go ahead.
Good morning, guys. No, Greg said that Greg was talking about the pandemic. Greg, let me tell you, right? Before I could have tasted the air up here had felt different. You could have tasted something was in the ear. So for Greg to say that there was nothing, with all those people that were sick and died, there had to be something that was released in the ear. Because I can honestly tell you, when I go outside, I used to say, why the ear taste so nasty? The ear, it was in the ear. The place just tasted nasty. You could have tasted it. You could have smelled it. It just tasted and smelled away to me. No, to Greg now, Greg's last statement before he went off. Now, my thing is when Greg talking, I'm thinking, but Greg might be doing all he doing in vain then, because if God only have a certain amount of people, who said he's one of the chosen?
Yeah, well, we've had that discussion on numerous occasions. But hold a while, because finish your point, because Journey says he has to go to work and he wants to.
Okay, I'm going to let Journey come in. Have a good day, guys. And Contentia, just in case if I don't get back in, I know you're not going to be on tomorrow, so have a blessed holiday.
You too, Cleo. Thank you. You and your household.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Go on, Journey.
Yes. Now, Greg outlined, like Cleo just said, this is segregation here, guys. But I'm not going to go there. My point is, Mrs. Henry mentioned that God is, I forgot the word she used. I think she said merciful or something like that. But let us measure words that the scripture use, guys, and follow me on this. In as much as Mrs. Henry said God is a merciful, I might be misquoting her word that she used earlier this morning. The scripture also said that God is long-suffering. Now let us look at this word long-suffering, because this word, it is perpetuous in our reality here. This word long-suffering, it is an evidence of our reality. Now, one would ask, well, how long should we be long-suffering? And God is long-suffering. Now, again, guys, We are looking at who claimed that they were wholly inspired to write what is the Word of God. Because these words, they use colorful words to lure us and to keep us in submission. God is long-suffering, God is this, and God is that. Again, guys, follow my train of thought. Because God, when he chose the Israelites to be his peculiar and chosen people unto him, he said to them, ye shall have no other gods besides me. Now, what does that mean? God is saying to the Israelites that there are other gods. But you see, are we Israelites? Are we Israelites? And for Greg to say that Jesus came to save his chosen elect. I mean, guys, are we not seeing segregation here?
Look, Greg, look, Journey, I grew up in the church, and this is one of the reasons why I moved away from the church. Because as a young chap growing up, I realized people may say otherwise, but I realized the Bible contradicts itself. And in one point when you think you understand, next thing you jump over there, you don't understand. Then you think you understand, there's a part in the Bible that says 1 day is like 1,000 years, 1,000 years is like a day. That is a contradiction in itself, because it then says, if you say long suffering is 1,000 years, or if you say long suffering is a day, it works in either case. You understand? I said all that to say this, Journey. At some point, you or anyone as an individual, having realized that this book has so many contradictions, it is up to you or whoever to decide whether you're going to continue to hold on to it and believe in it, or you're going to let it go. I let it go.
Well, Quinn, let me say this, right? The book speaks about metaphors, allegory, symbolism. Now, I'll give you one and let the audience pontificate on it. The crossing of the Red Sea, Quint. The crossing that God parted the Red Sea for the Israelites to cross. That took them 40, I can't remember the duration of time it took them to go through the Red Sea, right? But what does that symbolize?
Not to go to the Red Sea. I think they spent 40 or so more. I'm not too clear on that. Wandering in the desert because of their disobedience.
I'm talking about the crossing of the Red Sea, where God, the scripture says that God parted the Red Sea when Pharaoh pursued the children.
And did it say a time span for that?
Well, yes, I think it did. I mean, remember they was going to start from there, and the cloud and the fire by night and all of that. It was a duration of time that crossed the Red Sea. But my point is this, Quint.
No, you're mixing up something, Journey. That thing about the cloud and this and that was during the 40-year period in the wilderness, wandering, when they would have manna and all that kind of stuff, and there would be clouds, and they had all kind of different things.
When they crossed the Red Sea, there was a cloud that blocked the Egyptians from getting close to the journey into the Red Sea when the sea was parted, and there was a fire that light the way through the sea that was in front of the Israelites when they were going through. Anyway, let me make my point, please.
My point is, I'm asking if there was a time period, because I'm not aware, maybe there was, but I'm not aware that there was, like, for instance, I'm not aware that anywhere in the Bible it says it took them X amount of time to pass through the Red Sea.
Okay, Quint. Now, yes, there was 40 years in the wilderness. I'm aware of that.
Yes.
But anyway, let me just continue my point, please. Now, according to archaeologists, there was no evidence of a parting of a Red Sea. But the story is there, but the question we need to, or the understanding of the parting of the Red Sea, is for us to understand what it symbolizes. Because you see, Quint, the water that was divided, again, it is symbolic to our inner thoughts, our brain, where we have the left and the right hemisphere of our brain. But you see, we don't see ourselves in the text, Quint. We don't see ourselves in the text. Because when we read what is written, we are seeing Israel and Israelites at a time and place. But we are the reality of the text, Quint. And we need to see ourselves and understand what the text relates to us. And we have to also recognize, in as much as these holy inspired men claim that they were inspired by a spirit God, look at their words that they're using to lure us, to capture us, and to keep us submissive. This is what Journey is saying, Quint, because if you have to examine these holy inspired men, their hands are bloody, Quint. No, how could bloody people, bloody men, come and save us and give us salvation, and we not knowing what they did to our people who were before us? But I mean, here we are. We continue repeating or regurgitating the text or the scripture that we even believe the lie, even when the book tells us that there's going to come a time when men will believe in a lie. And this is where we are, because we're not exploring our mind to recognize the very writers of the text who are wholly inspired. They are the gods themselves. Jesus asked the question to the authorities, didn't it say in your law that ye are gods, but ye shall die like men? Now, quickly, let me make this point before I leave. We are in the season where we are doing a lot of consuming. We're eating. We're eating a lot of things that are a recipe for mucus. Let me say this, Quinn, to our people. Watch what you're eating today or during this season. Now, the books hint to us, Eve ate a fruit. And by consuming, we know the outcome of what the story of Eve and Adam. Eve, but you see, there are many schools of thought to what that fruit worked, Quint. So we can say it's a fruit, we can say this, we can say whatever. It was the tree of life. No, we're consuming, and by Eve consuming, Jesus says, oh gosh, I forgot my thought. But anyway, by our mouth, we have to watch what we're eating, because we were placed on a geographic space on this planet where everything was provided for us. I'm talking about alkaline food, Quinn. Today we are not eating alkaline food. We're eating food that is breaking down iron, and it's becoming a recipe for when we get older, we end up in the hospital bed, our mucous membrane compromised. The book says, I give you herbs for meat. Provision was made for us to eat herb for meat. We are consuming toxicity, and today, make no mistake, food has been weaponized. Now, everybody's shopping for their pork, their ham, their turkey, their scallop potato, their mac and cheese. These are recipes for disaster. It can be reversed once we return back to nature and find
So
alkaline food.
let me ask you this. So recommend some of the foods that you feel people should eat. You don't have to go into big detail. But
Okay, Quint. Now, a lot of those foods, Quint, they're going into extinction. Now, if you look, I'm talking about here in St. Kitts or in the Caribbean. Our papaya, our soursops, our sugar apples, our mansiport, our locusts, all of those things, Quint. Now, Journey been paying attention to what is traveling in our airspace. I'm talking about the chemtrail, Quint. No one is talking about that. But yet our vegetation are dying and going into extinction. Our original orange, those sour orange, then they were bountiful in my early 12 years of age. And now you can't find them.
A lot of that journey isn't. I don't know about the trail in the sky. I've seen it, but I don't jump to everything and take it up as a fact. But what I can tell you, because I've observed over the years from a young boy, always been keen on growing things, that for the most part it's chemicals. It's chemicals, the use of chemicals that have brought us to this place. Because, for instance, even now, in a era where we're hearing about what kind of food do they say we should use? Organic food. And even in this organic era, you still hear the farmers saying they need this chemical, they need that chemical, we're too chemical dependent. And here's a point I'm going to show you that proves it. When I was young growing up, you couldn't see a house or any place that didn't have jack spanners. Do you see any jack spanners around anymore? You know why? Because the chemicals in the air just kill off all those things. And if it's killing off those...
Not only that, Quint. Now, where I live was on the ground, it was a cane field at Stoneford Project, right? When we first moved on there in 1983, we were living in the village. In the land, the soil there was so rich. When you toe the soil, you see these white worms with the brown head that create burrows in the earth. And over time, because I get fertilizers from agriculture department, those worms have disappeared, Quint.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
They have disappeared.
Yes.
The point you made about the jack spanner, where are they today?
Where are they?
The jack spanner was there for a purpose.
Yeah.
You remember everything is skewed against us, Quint.
You remember when in the night time, soon as it began to become dark, we saw hundreds of bats all over the place.
And the fireflies.
Yes, all those died out because too much chemicals in the air.
Right. But you see, we are going along to get along. We are not remembering, Quint. We need to remember and reconnect. Herb for meat, provision was made for us. And the very fact that they told us that Eve ate something, it is much deeper than that, Quint. Because we are not today feeding ourselves. It is an agenda because they know who we are, but we don't know who we are. They know who we are and what they are not, Quint. Make no mistake about this.
But I still say that we are partly to blame. Africa is only now realizing that Africa, just on certain places in Africa alone, you could feed the whole planet. But yet still Europe disencouraged Africans from farming and growing food. They made sure that these Africans imported their inferior product and stopped planting and growing. Only now you find Africa is going back to growing their own food and certain other things. So we are partly to blame.
Quint, I hear what you're saying, and we being partly to blame. But remember, we also have to take into account that from slavery and colonization, whenever an African leader stood up, I tried to share some information on that a couple of weeks ago when I spoke about from the time they start to assassinating our leaders who stood up for country and people. Right? I mean,
that is a fact.
I didn't learn this in school, Quint.
That is a fact. That is true, and we kind of seeing it happen now. Because when you find right now with what is happening, and you find that the leader of Trinidad and Tobago makes a comment about Antigua, that is a form of assassination now. It's just that it's not physical assassination. It's a way of killing off each other by verbal assassination, not aligning, not unifying. So it continues.
You see, like Mark Mahan said, they have studied us. And it's like God is long-suffering. God is long-suffering. I mean, look at and ask ourselves, how long have we been suffering at the hands of the holy inspired translators or the writers? I mean, it's like as if our ancestors didn't left a blueprint where on the cradle of civilization for us. We have nothing.
I'm going to ask you to wrap up now. So
Okay,
we can
Quint,
take
yeah.
a break.
I'm going to pause and I'll probably. Are you going to be on tomorrow?
I don't think so. I'm not going to come in tomorrow because I need a rest. I only come in with
Right.
Carten
Gotcha,
says.
gotcha. All right, I'll
Yeah.
just leave it there and then we'll continue whenever.
Okay.
All right, all the best, guys.
Yes. Hello, caller. Okay, lost that. Let's take a bit of a commercial break, and I'll be right back.
Found the South 98.9. Win FM.
This Christmas, make the season brighter with help from TDC Financial Services. Whether it's gifts for the family, a holiday home makeover, or that special celebration you've been dreaming of, our Christmas loan promotion is here to make it happen. Get up to $85,000 unsecured or $100,000 secured with affordable rates, fast approval, and the trusted service you know and love. Apply today at TDC Financial Services on Central Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, or Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, your holiday, your loan, your way, where money is made easy.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch smart TV or a $400 Amazon gift card. When you add a Flow postpaid mobile plan to your home internet, you can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with a big screen or big shopping. Let us upsize your TV or clear your Amazon cart. Either way, you come out on top. Add postpaid to internet today for your festive win-win. Visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
From our Harper's family to yours, we say a big thank you for your support throughout the past year and wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, a safe and fun-filled carnival, and let's all have a bright and prosperous new year.
It's the happiest season of all.
What are you doing?
She said, drink a rude boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a rude boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active, living we life. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we are we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Rude boy. Why?
And we're back on Island T. It's just about 36 minutes after the hour of 9. And
We have a caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, greetings and salutations.
Same to you.
I was listening to a caller saying what doctors should do and shouldn't do. My understanding of what he's saying, hey, look, repeal the SSD, get a second term, and then take us to the IMF. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion, but he is looking at it from his point of view. And he mentioned some other names in there. There are people over there who is unelectable, you know, like the one he called, who wouldn't call her name. But, Quint, I want to ask you a question. You're from Connery?
Yes.
Okay. I used to work at the airport with a guy named Vernon. We used to call him Sakapinta.
Sakapinta, a tall, dark fella.
Yes.
I think I am aware of him.
I was trying to get some information. I know he lives in New York. Life is funny. I remember he's brother to Bornell, Brother Bornell. One thing he was supposed to.
Burnell,
One thing he was.
Burnell, who I think is he has lost a limb.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, brother, yeah.
at one time I spoke to him. He was supposed to give me the number, and then he called back and told me, "Hey, look, I can't give you the number."
I haven't seen Saka Pinter in a long while. Now you're giving me news because I thought he was on St. Kitts, but you're saying he's abroad?
He's in New York.
Okay, I didn't know
He's in
that.
New York.
Okay.
But he was supposed to give me the number. As I say, he called back and said he can't give me the number. I said, "Well, give him mine," But
Yeah.
never did happen. But I usually, listen to that caller, and for him,
Well, I guess just like you, I was a bit surprised, but he, like you said, he's entitled to his opinion, and so that is why I wanted a little bit of clarity on one specific point. But I was a bit surprised that he was actually saying that he was giving advice for a second term, but to each his own.
Yeah. Well, that's all for me for the rest of the year, and you guys
Same to
enjoy
you, you and
the
your
season,
family, yeah.
You as well.
You as well.
Kind sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you were saying before that, Hortensia, you wanted to go into something.
I saw something from the same guy that says basically Antigua has sent home its Cuban contingent, and he was making reference to them in terms of them having right standing with the U.S. I've tried to contact my friends. They tell me they are going home, but they don't know if it is for the season. Because I said, I know some of them here even go home for the season,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but his
Look,
theory
let's,
is that
let's,
he's
let's
sending...
not jump to it, because if we follow what everybody says, we jump into a panic. This is why I don't pick up on what everybody says.
Yeah.
I try to listen to what somebody says and do some background research to get something to buttress that. I don't just run with, I am aware of this guy, but I don't usually take what he says unless I back check.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to investigate over there in Antigua. So I'm going to try to go into further investigation to see if that
I
is the
do
truth.
know, though, that the United States would like the Caribbean to cut off Cuba, but that is something we have been resistant on. And I know, as far as I know, the Caribbean leaders, they don't want to cut link with Cuba because Cuba has been a friend to us through thick and thin. Hello, caller?
Yes, it's me again. Now, first of all, but there are videos on YouTube by Carrie, K-A-R-Y, Mullis, M-U-L-L-I-S, Carrie Mullis. Since around 2020, I've seen the videos of him speaking on his PCR test that he invented about how inaccurate it was. And there is let me name one video so people could YouTube it. People could search for it on YouTube. The name of the video is Harry Mullis, inventor of the PCR test. And you would see a clip with him speaking on his PCR test that he invented. Obviously, he could not say that it was inaccurate where COVID was concerned because he died 4 months before, so he couldn't speak to COVID. But he said, like I said, and you will hear him in the video himself, not AI, but himself saying his PCR test that he invented was very inaccurate, very unreliable when it comes to identifying diseases. Okay? And he also spoke out against Anthony Fauci as well, how inept he was and how ignorant he was at that time when speaking to some issues concerning diseases and that sort of stuff. So yeah, so just go to YouTube, look up Carrie Mullis, C-A-R-Y-M-U-L-L-I-S, and the name of the video is Carrie Mullis, inventor of the PCR test. That is for that. You'll hear the man himself.
Okay, I want you to be
No.
kind of brief this time because you've called in.
Yes, I'm going to be. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, if one go to YouTube and look up the Gulf of Aqaba, AQUABA, sorry, not you, AQABA, Aqaba, the Gulf of Aqaba. You will see where archaeology evidence. Well, type in the Gulf of Aqaba and the Exodus, or the Gulf of Aqaba and the killing of Egyptian armies, Pharaoh armies, whatever, so as to make the connection, and you will see where the Gulf of Aqaba is believed to be the Red Sea in the Bible, and when divers go down there and archaeologists go down there to dive, they're seeing chariot wheels, horses, human beings, and that sort of stuff down there, showing that some kind of army died down there. And that is believed by many, not by all, but by many, that the Gulf of Aqaba is the Red Sea of the Bible, and I believe that too. And last I said, Jesus Christ came to seek and to save that which was lost. He did not came to give a chance to seek and give a chance to be saved, but he came to seek and to save that which was lost. So therefore, all who Jesus died for, he did save them, as the Bible said. And that could only be his elect, his chosen ones, and that's the point of Christmas and Easter.
Okay.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Glenn Cottons here.
Good day to you. And let me take this time to wish you and yours all the best for the season. And
well, thank you very much, and the same to you. Actually, that is the only reason I called in, because I haven't been listening this morning, so I don't know what the issues were. I came in at the tail end, and I heard something about what Dr. Joe should do to be reelected.
Yes.
Is it early elections in the year, in the year, or what?
Well, there's a lot of speculation going on. So, speculation is how should I put it? Where there's a lot of speculation, the atmosphere, the atmosphere is rife for all kind of imaginative thought.
Well, okay, because I thought that too. That's one of the reasons why he was forced to pay the double salary, even though we had a deficit budget, and we had.
But Mr. McMahon, we discussed that. You and I did an analysis, and we both agreed that at this point, after over 2 years, something had to be done, because you're fast approaching election time, whether it's going to be next year or the year after. You can't wait until right upon the election and to give people a double salary. We analyzed that, and we were right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So well, then, since the following year is an election year, it's almost a given then that if the government extends its tenure beyond this year, a double is assured next year as well.
Yeah.
Or some kind of big raise.
That is my analysis. So the caller who just a while ago said, in his perspective, you might win, and next thing take us to the IMF. That again is a valid assessment.
Well, that's very cynical. I don't know about taking us to the IMF, but there may be, because that really is a bad word. For conditions and vision.
Well,
right, the IMF. But what may be in the offering is, as unpalatable as it may be, some kind of new taxes.
Well,
or a drastic reduction.
So one or the other.
In government spending, and it may even involve some retrenchment of people. But you can rest assured, though, that the bitter medicine will come after the election.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's how politicians operate.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. But like I said, the main reason was to extend season's greetings to you and yours as well, Cortencia.
Yeah. Thank you.
And the people would normally listen to Island Tea.
Yeah.
Right, and wish them the best for
the new year.
2026.
Yeah. Same to you and yours.
Yeah, okay then.
You take
Thank
care.
you.
Yeah. So back to your Hortensia.
You see, don't like to argue Bible, but when we say Jesus just come for a chosen few, I don't go for that. There's no such thing as a chosen few. I can understand we have ranks where some of us are preachers, elders, some of us are just regular church members. But Christ died for every single person, good and indifferent, and he prolongs, I would say, this is me, he prolongs his appearance because he desires that everyone come to know him and everyone is saved. I don't believe in just a chosen few. So what are you saying, everybody else is condemned to hell? How are people going to even think that we serve a God that we speak of, a merciful God, a gracious God, a loving God? He ain't desire that nobody go to hell. He want all of us to come to him. So I don't believe in that part. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island Tea.
Good morning, Potency and Quinn.
Hey, Jam Down, how are you?
I'm fine.
All
Seasonal
right.
greetings.
Same to you.
Quinn,
Same to you, yeah.
You see, WinFM always straight with the facts. You see where we're going now? We've been saying all the time that the government is spending a lot of money foolishly. Many times I hear you, Quinn, talk about it. And you see where we at now? You see where we at now? We right on the point of going to the IMF for money. They're trying to hide it. Now our nationals, them, all to town, coming up to me, telling me, continue. It's only when we talk, they understand what's going on in the country. Because they cannot out there and get the truth from these people. We have a problem and we are calling on all and sundry, you know, to change this dilemma here, you know. Otherwise, it's going to be real problem. That SSV thing, we cannot go down the road with that. We got to step back and come forward again. The negotiation out of the Christoph Harbor is terrible, and these guys still doing the same thing over and over. Children unborn must enjoy here. Not indigenous people, Kittitians and Nevisions. People looking problem, you know, and they're going to get problem, you know. Because we is not going to fight. We is not going to stand up and allow these people to give away country like this. Have a good morning, Quinton Potencia. Keep coming to the poor people because me ain't backing down, you know. Me ain't backing down. I will give it this life any time for think it's Nevis. This SFV thing can't walk and think it, and Nevis. Have a good morning.
Same to you, Jam Down. All the
Hello,
best.
caller. Hello, caller.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island Tea.
Hey, sorry for calling back again.
That's okay.
Yesterday I was trying to get in concerning the double salary.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister did say that ministers and advisors, you know, would not receive one, but he never did say parliamentarians. Because
well,
if you look at it,
doesn't ministers incorporate
Parliamentarians?
Parliamentarians.
They are the ones in there representing us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, he said ministers.
Yeah, but I did hear his advisor also said that he said they're not going to get it, but it's not going to be something that goes on forever.
Continuously,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can rest assured that unless we see otherwise, that the ministers, including parliamentarians and advisors, won't get it.
Well, he didn't say that. Parliamentarians are not ministers.
So
that is why I say let us assume, because we could not have parliamentarians if they were not ministers. Am I incorrect?
Well, I don't agree with that because we elect representatives. They is the ones who went up to government house and decide which the spoils they are going to take. The Constitution doesn't mention anything about ministers.
I
So
hear.
they're the ones who create that.
But here's
Yeah,
what.
I'm
But
looking
here's
at
what I'm
something
saying.
that says in most parliamentary systems, ministers are usually elected members of parliament chosen by the prime minister to lead government departments.
That is the question
Yeah.
I'm asking, because I hear you what you're saying, because that brings in a technicality, but I'm still saying, let us assume logically that you cannot have these parliamentarians before they came ministers. They had to
Ministers, yeah.
become ministers to go into and
To
and
parliament.
form a parliament.
Yeah.
So you might be right, though. The reason why I say that is because you can never put anything past these politicians when it comes to technicality. But I don't
That's
think
exactly
it is.
my point, you know.
Yeah,
Yes, and that is why I say I hear you, because I always listen to
Mhm.
what people say. But I'm saying let us logically assume that that is not the case, that they are not going to try to pull a fast one on us. Let's take it as it should be. Ministers become parliamentarians, so ministers and advisors won't be getting.
Quinn,
Yeah.
Quinn, you just said something that is incorrect.
What?
Again, representatives, not ministers. The Constitution doesn't speak anything but about ministers. It speaks about representatives.
So aren't the representatives the elected members who are ministers?
No, yes, but they are the ones who go up to government house and decide what ministry they're gonna take.
And that is why I
the
said,
executive.
and that is why I said, caller, I hear you, and that is why I also further said it brings up a technicality that, and I also said we cannot put anything past politicians because they're very creative. But I don't think this is the case. Let us be proven otherwise. That is what
Well,
I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but remember, these were the same people who went in there and gave themselves, what it is, 33% raise?
Maybe that's why they didn't take the double, because they know their salary is good enough.
But I hear what you're saying, caller. I hear what you're saying, and what you're saying has credence. That is why I give it validity.
Validity.
But I don't think that is the case. If that is the case, then they're going to show the electorate, the people, that they are con artists, and I don't think that would go down well with the population.
I want to bring up one more point, and I'm going to leave.
Yes.
I think it was last week in Antigua, the parliament make some changes to the oath, the Oath Act.
Yes.
So, going forward, they are going to be swearing
Allegiance.
Antigua.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think that I
think
think
I
that
heard
should
of that,
become
right?
the norm. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
heard of that.
I really don't know what these guys here waiting for. If it's something they have to do in Parliament, just do it. And get rid of this
Yeah.
king and successors.
I agree.
You know.
I agree, because the people just don't like to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Okay.
done.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yes, that's true that you just mentioned. As you said, we have somebody else. It says, yes, Antigua and Barbuda is moving to replace swearing allegiance to the British monarchy with swearing allegiance to the nation itself, with Parliament giving the green light for an Oath Bill 2025 to establish an oath of allegiance to the state, its constitution and laws reflecting their full independence and maturing beyond the colonial era. This aligns with regional trends following Grenada's similar shift and signals Antigua and Barbuda's intent to become a republic, solidifying their national identity.
Yeah. Hello, caller.
Hi, I just had to call back at that discussion.
Last
just now.
input, yes.
They don't dare do something like that.
You understand?
I dare them to do that.
But aren't the ministers the parliament, Mr. McMahon?
Yes, but you see,
Yes, they are parliamentarians, but they get a ministerial salary. They also get a salary for being
in Parliament too.
members of Parliament.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, if they dare separate the two,
Yes. Yeah.
that will nullify the whatever positive feedback they would have gotten.
Yeah,
from
I agree.
From people because they didn't take the double.
Yes.
Right? Because most people assume that they'll just get the salary that they'll get.
Yeah.
Every month. Right.
Yeah.
So they don't dare do that. If they do that, as you said.
I'm glad you called back to chime in on that because I didn't think of it until sometimes we don't think about everything until a caller brings it up and then it broadens our perspective. But I don't think they're going to try that one.
No. Me neither. Me neither. The fact that
that would be outrageous.
Yeah, the fact that the advisor said is a one-off and
Yes.
it's not something they can do all the time, I don't think they did that.
Right.
I honestly want to put my neck on a block for them this go
I'm
around.
not going to put my neck on any block though, but
I said this go around.
You're brave.
Well, if it comes out, then y'all pray for me. That's all.
Yeah. Well, do you know if the federal government is taking the hit? Well, not so much the hit, but is going to pay for Nevision's double salary civil servants.
that is another question because that came up that it's putting a burden on Mr. Brantley over there now to find that, but they're going to have to work that out.
Because I don't think that would have been mentioned in
No.
Brantley's budget speech. It couldn't be. So if I imagine that if the federal parliament decide that there's going to be a double salary, they're going to have to foot the bill for.
You think so?
Well.
But I still hear regular people, and I've been around conversations where people are still trying to get to government work. Like I literally hear somebody like 2 days ago saying they're supposed to get to work with government, and I'd be like, "What's wrong with y'all? Y'all don't realize y'all burden the government and all these things.
But
y'all
that
think the
isn't gonna
government's giving back.
that
We
isn't
not
gonna
gonna have you not gonna have to pay for it in my head.
Yeah, but that
Because
isn't
I don't
gonna
like to
stop
chime
though.
in every conversation.
But that isn't going to stop the cartel because of the different.
You mean you're talking about people who don't work for government?
They don't work for government yet, but they're saying they're getting a government work because they want to leave the work that they currently have. So they're saying, I'm looking at government work, or somebody supposed to get me a government work. And in my head, I'm thinking, come on, man, stop overdoing the thing, man. The government bill already high to pay people, and you looking to go in government too?
Well, that's partly the government's fault, because they have been increasing their payrolls, increasing the numbers on their payroll since they got in.
Yeah.
And that probably accounts for.
And believe it or not, coming closer to election, we're going to see an increase on that payroll again.
And that's madness.
It's interesting that the government employs about 43% of the workforce. So you can say that 57%
is private.
They did not get any double salary.
Yes.
Right. Well, not double salary, but any subvention from government.
Yes.
This time around, and so they had to have been a calculation that the 43% is somehow going to overcome the 57% that are not grateful. Okay, the 43 who are grateful might somehow overcome.
But they also know how our Caribbean families are. They also know that it is very unlikely that of that 40-something%, it doesn't scatter and spread its tentacles into the other percentage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. Plus, of course, I would imagine a significant portion of that 57% who didn't get a government subvention would get some kind of bonus from the employers as well. So it's all.
And maybe that's why government said no Social Security out of the bonuses.
Yeah.
So we can feel special.
Right.
And the advisor who came here, he spoke to that too. He said they are well aware that the private sector gives bonuses and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. So Cartencia, your nice big bonus is coming. Quint, I suppose yours as well, even though you all don't work for government. Remember, be kind this Christmas and share the wealth.
Yeah. And what's the word for that?
Oops. You're terrible. You know, one more thing
surprised.
before we go, right? One more thing before we go. I didn't hear much persons talking about it, but from December the 1st, the national insurance that they were talking about, is that the same thing where public servants are covered?
I don't know about
I had to look for clarification on that.
Okay. So we can hold that for next time.
What I know has happened, is said, is that it's going to continue until death. Beyond, I think there was a cutoff point for civil servants being insured, but it's going to continue now.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it applies to how extensive it applies, whether civil servants who are on pension, for instance, I don't know. Okay, because there was a cutoff point there as well. But Quinn, I was just going to tell you that I survived all my years of school without ever getting a nickname. Don't try to put one on me now. Okay.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. Honestly, I'm not. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You take care.
All right, then. Bye.
Yeah. Well, we're 4 minutes over time, so we're going to say our bid you adieus.
Yep. And have an enjoyable Tuesday. Remember, choose to be kind, choose to be grateful, and just choose to spread love wherever you go.
Yes, and I endorse whatever Hortensia just said.
Yeah,
Every
and
word.
see you on Monday.
Yeah.
God's will.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.